bold promise to empower the everyday Kenyan. Now, you've taken what some people have stamped as the nation crown jewel, i.e. KPC, and deliberately transferred its ownership to the public. Now, Your Excellency, how does this very historic IPO serve as the ultimate fulfillment of your social contract with the Kenyan people, ensuring that Wanjiko, Atieno, Jerotich are no longer just a spectator of the economy, but a direct owner of the nation's wealth?
Thank you very much, Muti. This morning is particularly very significant to me because 3 years ago, on my first visit to the Securities Exchange, I did make 2 commitments and made 1 request. I did make a commitment that we are going to bring ordinary people, the Kenyans in their entirety, into this equation of the stock exchange. I remember making a statement then that I have been persuading the people who are stealing cattle, you know, the stock theft people. And I was telling them there is a world of a difference between stock theft and stock exchange. And I was telling them, you must stop this stock theft and instead go to the stock exchange and buy and sell. That's number 1. Number 2, I remember when I came here, I said, there is great value and there is a lot of resources that we can mobilize from the Securities Exchange so that we begin the journey to wean ourselves out of heavy taxation and heavy borrowing. And I requested at that point that the stock exchange should consider mechanisms that would help bring ordinary Kenyans into the stock exchange. Today is a fulfillment of all the 3. Number 1, my commitment that I would bring government assets to democratize ownership of government assets to be owned by more Kenyans. And I did make a specific commitment that one of the companies that we are considering to bring to the Securities Exchange was Kenya Pipeline. Today, Kenya Pipeline is here. The commitment I also made that we are going to democratize that space. If you look at the number of ordinary Kenyans that are bought into the IPO, it speaks directly to the fact that more and more Kenyans are coming to the exchange. And thirdly, the ZD platform, which now a Kenyan anywhere from the comfort of their phone, they don't need to have a CDS account, they don't need to do all the things that were required of them to do. They don't have the denominations has come down. And you just briefed me this morning that because of the ZD platform, 61% of trading today by volume in this exchange is by Kenyans who are buying 1,000, 2,000, the ordinary Kenyans. That is phenomenal. And we have just started. This is a platform that is hardly 3 weeks old.
Yes, correct.
About 3 weeks old. And you can already see that 61% of trading has now been taken over by ordinary Kenyans. And this is the journey we want to make. Let me say one more fundamental thing why this is very significant to me and to the government of Kenya and to the people of Kenya. We've always we've engaged in IPO with KCB, with Safaricom, but what is different today with this IPO is that the resources we are raising from this divestiture is directly going to generate more public assets. The money that we are going to raise today here will not go to paying debts. It will not go to paying salaries. It will go to creating infrastructure. And that is why, even as we pushed for the delisting and the divestiture of Kenya Pipeline, and as I look forward to more divestiture of public assets, that divestiture is going to specifically to go to a dedicated infrastructure fund that will help us create more infrastructure that can be divested in the future. One, as I said yesterday, one of the first beneficiary of this divestiture is going to be the building of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And we will shortly be telling the public where this money is going to be invested. And I promise you, it's going to be in public infrastructure that is going to support the growth of our country. This is different from what has happened before. We have sold public assets, paid debts, paid salaries, and we cannot account for where those public assets are. We are making a deliberate, significant shift that we are going to invest in assets that Kenyans can see. We're going to build new infrastructure assets that will support the growth of our economy. That, to me, is as significant as it can get.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I think that's very clear, and the beauty is every time you are at the exchange, you make promises, you keep them. So we are very happy about that. Allow me to turn to the lady, Madam Rina. Rina, this is the first major state-backed IPO since the historic Safaricom IPO more than 17 years ago. And you've been at the forefront of this given your role as the transaction advisor through Faida Investment Bank. Given how much the financial landscape has evolved since 2008 when we saw Safaricom, what would you share with the audience as the shifts that have actually taken place that must also continue to take place to ensure that the NSC reclaims its position as the primary wealth builder for the everyday Kenyan as far as IPOs are concerned?
Thank you so much.